Today, you're gonna need a chair. It has to have a back. It cannot have armrests. And I would also like you to have a mat, because we'll do a little bit of floor work in a little bit. All right, my goal for today, have a seat. My goal for today is to get us full body, little stretching, little strengthening, but to get through this whole workout without kneeling at all, because I have a couple of clients right now that just can't kneel, but are otherwise totally healthy. So we're gonna start sitting like this, but I want you to scoot forward towards the front of the chair. Give yourself a little space away from the backrest, and try to bring your sit bones almost to the edge, but where you don't feel like you're falling off. Let's start out with a little focused breathing just to get you tuned into your body. Sensing places that we have a lot of sensation. I want you to feel both feet, both hands resting on your thighs, and then both of your sit bones underneath you, so like everything's in pairs. And I want you to press down with your feet, with your palms, and with your sit bones, as if you're rooting yourself down into the chair and into the ground. And as you give that a little energy and stiffen up or tone, notice how the rest of your body grows a little taller right above your sit bones. Now let's stay like that and do a bit of breathing. As you inhale, take the breath in slowly through your nose and feel your rib cage expanding. Exhale through your mouth as if you were blowing out a candle, and compress the deepest layer of your abdominals without changing the overall posture. As you breathe in, sense the expansion in every direction as the lungs get bigger. And then as you exhale, feel the rib cage gathering back in to help you blow the air out. When you breathe in, visualize that the air was going deep into your body, all the way down to the chair itself. And then when you exhale, feel your upper body soften a little, just blow all that tension away. And just one more time, breathe in, feel the ribs expanding from low to high. And then as you exhale, feel that support created as we gently compress the deep abdominal muscles. Let's add a little spinal movement to this. I want you to take your arms out to the side, but with your elbows bent a bit. We're gonna go through a hugging motion with your arms while you flex your spine. So give yourself one more inhale so we just have something filled up to work with. As you exhale, compress your abs and round your upper body forward as you go into that hug. Then when you breathe in, you're gonna stack back up, come through neutral and lift your chest, so you're in a slight extension. Exhale, draw your abs in, round forward, hugging into the midline. Breathe in, expand and lift your heart and look up to the top. Exhale as you round forward. Now as we're moving back and forth, I want you to stay on your sit bones. Try to feel them the whole time. So we're isolating the upper back flexing, and then extending, drawing the shoulder blades back and down. Just one more time. Exhale as you curl, and then inhale as you lift. Relax your arms down by your side. And I want you to start a small shrug, alternating shoulder to shoulder. That small shrug should feel like your shoulder blade gets a little glide up and down your ribs. Make it a little bigger and allow your body to shift side to side. So you can see I'm getting much more movement from the rib cage, kind of getting pulled by the movement of my shoulder blade. All right, settle it in. Let's turn that into a backward shoulder roll, but still one at a time. And let your upper body just twist a little bit. So the ribs are still going with the motion. It's okay if your head twists a little, but overall, keep the look forward. One more each way. Now reverse it, throw that shoulder forward. And just one more on each side. And relax. All right. For the next movement, you stay where you are. I'm just going to get a sideways view because that'll be a little more helpful. We're going to start out hinging forward, staying in this neutral alignment and just tipping at the hips. As you hinge forward, I want you to reach one arm up by your ear, press your opposite arm back just behind your torso, and then return to vertical as you switch. So we're going to alternate arms. And I want you to visualize that you're maintaining the relationship of your hips, your ribs, and your head as you go through this hinging motion. If you can imagine those three landmarks like on a skewer, I'm tipping the whole skewer forward and up, but nothing's falling off. Next time you drop yourself forward, I want you to stay. Rotate your head away from the arm that's by your ear, so you look like you're in the middle of like a crawl stroke swimming. We're gonna alternate arms to a bend and stretch. So I want you to tuck both arms in towards your shoulders, turn your head to the other side and extend them out again. So we're gonna come through the middle on the inhale, exhale to rotate. So now my goal is to keep that slight forward hinge, pulling my abs in to support the angle that I've created. And I'm just getting a little stretch through the lat every time I reach the arm. Give me one more to each side. Rotate and reach, and then come on, back up to vertical. Now, you're gonna scoot over to the side so you can hang one leg off the chair. If I give you a little bit of a side view. So this looks like I'm in a lunge. I just have the support of the chair, but I really only have one sit bone on it now. I have my toes curled underneath because I think it's good to practice getting some extension in your toes if you're in shoes a lot. But if that causes a cramp or if you lose your balance, you can flip your foot over the other way instead. Okay. I'm gonna take your hand, stick it down at the opposite side of the chair. Shoot it that way. All right, just to help anchor it down so you don't go tipping over. All right, let's take your arm up to the ceiling. I want you to do a side bend. On your inhale, you're gonna bend towards the seat of the chair, and then exhale, stack up, tail to head. Inhale as you side bend over, and then exhale back up to vertical. Side bend, and lift back up. One more time to side stretch, and to lift. Now we're gonna leave the arm up. On your next inhale breath, I want you to lift from your heart, and we're gonna create extension, just like you did in that first hugging exercise. From here, when you exhale, circle the arm down and just watch it with your gaze. So I'm gonna follow the hand going up to the ceiling, and then rotate around on the exhale. Inhale, lift. Let yourself fill with that breath. Exhale, circle around. One more time, inhale up, and circle around. It's like sneaky, you start to feel this by the end of all that stuff. All right, let's move over to the other side. Okay, now maybe I'll give you this angle. Okay. So I still have the hands supporting on that opposite side of the chair, and I'm gonna start with the arm reaching up to the ceiling. Side bend first. You're gonna take an inhale breath as you drop into the side bend, and exhale, stack up. Try to level off the pelvis. Inhale as you bend, and exhale to lift. Let's aim the air into the side that you're stretching to intensify the stretch, and up, and that might even let you feel it all the way down to your hip. And then lift back up. Hold that arm there. Now take your inhale breath, and we're gonna rise up into extension. Let that hip stay open. Exhale, you're gonna circle the arm around to return. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, rotate all the way around. Inhale up, and exhale, circle. One more time, inhale to lift, and then circle around. All right, come back to the middle of the chair. And I gotta give you the sideways again. All right, so like before, you're gonna scoot to the front of the chair, and I want you to place your hands right at the back of it where the backrest is. See, I'm leaning back a little bit. All right, that's important. You wanna get the weight of your body over the heels of your hands, because we're gonna do a small bridge lift. I know this doesn't really look like a bridge, but I want you to use your glutes was the point. You're gonna put your hips back down, take your hands behind your head, and now look at how far the feet are out. I'm gonna do a hinge forward, shifting the weight into my feet to stand up. Okay, so you got a supported squat, but still a good amount of work. When you stand up, you're gonna lift your heels, reach your arms up to the ceiling, then lower your heels down. And we gotta make it back down. So I want you to hinge forward, like an athletic squat for exercise, shift back, find your chair. It's like scary for just 1 second. Hands come behind you, lean your body weight back. Push into your feet, lift your hips up. Drop your hips to the chair, hands behind the head. Give me a hinge forward. We have to push down into the sit bones, then into your feet to rise up. Arms up, lift your heels. All right, so these are exercises. I mean, you're gonna strengthen all the right muscles in your legs to help you stand up, but I want you to feel this as a skill. When we push down, it powers the muscles to go up. We wanna work on the balance so we can reach something nice and high. Hands back to your head, squat, find your chair, hands back behind you. Hips lift, drop your hips down, hands behind the head. Take a shift forward, push into the floor, rise up. Heels lift and the arms lift, come back down. Let's say you're struggling with the balance. I'm gonna change my arms a little. So I'll still go through the hip lift phase. Now as you do this weight shift, reach your arms forward and that'll help you with the leverage. You can just swing them up and then reach them forward as you find your way down. We're gonna do this 3 more times. Hips up, drop, root down into the feet, rise up. You can even leave your hands here for the lift and lower if you need. I feel like I'm struggling more after I promised you that would be a good modification. And again, so to stay with that, boom. You could do this, boom. And now I'm gonna do my last one with my hands behind my head like we were first doing, just to remind you what that was. I'm gonna take that shift, put it into the legs, heels lift, and drop. I'm confusing myself. All right, let's stay up. Let's come around to the back of the chair now. Next adventure, I'd like you to stand in a turnout with your feet a little bit wider than your shoulders. Inside hand's gonna go on the chair. We're gonna start out bending the knees, plie, if you're used to bar class, and then we're gonna sidestep into a curtsy and a side bend. So the weight of my body is gonna shift away and towards the bar. I'm loading both legs evenly and then more weight on the inside leg. Let's do this 4 more times. Let your head fall towards the chair. 3, and over. 2, and 1, and stretch. Come back out to that plie. Now we're gonna turn. From this plie, we're gonna pivot into a lunge. Swing your arm around, rotating, and then drop to a lunge. We're gonna come back up, pivot into this plie. So right now I am pivoting. My foot's flat in the plie, but my heel is lifted so I can rotate on the ball of the foot. Now if you do take bar class and you wanna make this a little harder, take your foot off the ground. Give it a bounce as you rotate back and forth. Make sure the pelvis is twisting. Get a full 90-degree turn. 2 more times. Last one, and stay in the lunge. You can grab the chair with both hands now, and I'm gonna have you go from a lunge, take your back leg, lift your knee. Watch out for hitting the chair. You're not gonna get a full march probably, but you will challenge your balance. Make sure you're lifting from your heart. Still use the idea of rooting into the ground. And 2 more times. Last one, and up. I want you to step backwards, hinge forward at your hips, and let your chest drop into the space between your arms for a little hamstring stretch. If you don't feel it there, you can explore shifting your weight forward or back. That kind of tweaks it a little. But also, make sure your back's as straight as possible. So when I'm flexed, that diminishes some of the stretch. So I want to go right from the sit bones, tip up. See how that changed there? And with a longer back, you'll get a better stretch for the hamstrings. Okay, let's do those exercises the other way. You can feel free to just turn away from me, but I'm going to move my chair to the other side. All right, so we're back to that turned out pose. Inside hands on the chair, outside arms, reaching out to the side. Let's do a plie and a side bend. So plie first, step into the chair and side bend. We're gonna open and bring it in. And remember, let the body travel laterally and out and over. We're gonna do 4 more of these. A little stretch in the hip. 3, head falls. Last 2, and 1 more time, and over. Drop it into that plie. All right, so now we're pivoting. Start in your plie, and then rotate, bend those knees into a lunge. Rotate, plie, and then lunge. Okay, so that's my pivoting style. And then we have that more stompy version, where I'm actually lifting the foot and bouncing through the transition. Let's do this 5 more times. No matter how you're doing it, make sure we're dipping up and down, and you're gonna stay in lunge here. Grab with both hands. Now, go from that downward force of the lunge, spring up and march that knee. Dip down, lift your heart, and drop and lift. Let's do 6 per times. Try to stack all your body weight right over that heel. 3 and 2. Just one more time. All right, step back again. Come into that same forward hinge. Remember, the key to the stretch was tipping the sit bones up. Now, hang out there, take another full breath in and out, and I want you to bend one knee and then the other, so it kind of looks like you're walking, please. Keep doing that. But now let your hips twist so that the bending knee goes across the midline a little bit. Your head and neck can follow that rotation as you march it out. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. When you come back in, step a little closer to the chair and then rise back up. All right. Now we're gonna get the mat out and lay down on your back. I'm gonna put the mat right up against the chair. If you're somewhere where this chair is gonna slide, get it against the wall because we're gonna bridge on it, and it definitely has a chance of sliding away from you, especially if you're using the wrong muscles. And I don't want you to find that out the hard way. All right, so, do I sound like really creaky today or what? I don't know what that is. I kept joking last week was couch week. I think this is the consequence. And static, that and static. Okay, I think that's just winter. Enough about me. You want the calves and your feet on the chair. Arms are resting by your side. Let's do a set of hip rolls next. When you exhale, you're gonna rock your pelvis to start peeling your spine away from the mat, and you need to push down into the chair seat with your heels to help you rise up to a bridge. Take a breath in at the top, and then roll back down, one bone at a time, passing through your ribs, then your low back, and then your hips. So this version's no joke. You should feel it quite a bit in your hamstrings. Exhale, curl your hips off. On the note of the hamstrings, you want to imagine the knees, we're still going towards the top of the chair, and that'll help you engage them. Stay here and take a breath in. Roll back down on the exhale. Now, if this feels too hard and you know what a normal hip roll is, get out rid of the chair and just do this with your feet on the floor. Exhale, roll through so you feel your abdominals first. Glutes keep curling your pelvis. Hamstrings to make sure the knees keep the flexion as you lift up. Hold there, take a breath in at the top, and then roll back down on your exhale breath. 2 more times. Exhale, roll up. I was trying to wait till that siren's gone, but it's taking a little too long for me to stall you. Inhale at the top, and then roll back down. I know you come for the sirens though. One more time. Exhale, roll through imprint, compress those abs, squeeze those glutes, keep pulling your body in towards the chair. Stay here and take a breath in. Exhale, roll back down. Told you that chair really wants to get away from you on this one. And then rock back to neutral. All right, now we're gonna leave your legs at rest on the chair, so if you feel like you're uncomfortable where you have them, you can adjust. Hands are gonna go behind your head. We're gonna do a set of the ab prep. If you have tightness in your hip flexors, this variation is great because your hip flexors are short, happy, and then therefore less likely to grip or get in the way of you executing the exercise. Where I'd like you to feel this is targeted more where your abdominal muscles meet your rib cage because we're flexing your upper body. All right, so angle your elbows forward slightly. You're gonna take a breath in before you start the exercise. When you exhale, tip your chin down slightly as you're curling your head and shoulders off the mat. I want you to stop the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. And then inhale as you come back down. And again, the movement starts with a slight tip down of the chin, then curl forward so the head and neck follow the bend of the ribs, and then lower back down. Exhale as you flex up, gaze towards your thighs, and then inhale to lower back down, and exhale, curl forward. You'll feel a little space in between your shoulder blades. Inhale to lower back down. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, control the lowering to the mat. You've got 3 to go. Slide the ribs towards the hips. Try to stay neutral in your pelvis. Pubic bone nice and heavy. Inhale as you lower. Exhale to flex. Inhale, back down. Last time like this, curling up and lower back down. Let's do a second set, and we're gonna add an oblique variation to it. Same start position, but this time, as you curl up, you're gonna remove one hand from behind your head, chop it diagonally across your body, lay your head all the way back down to the center. Now take it to the other side. Exhale, chop across. Inhale, back down. All right, so this is another exercise. I'm gonna give you 2 ways to do it. So that's your first way. Keep laying your head down in between reps. If you'd like to intensify it a little more, leave your head up as you pass through middle and just switch hands and alternate those chops. Pay attention if you're doing this version to what you're feeling at your shoulder blades. I'm on one when I chop, both tips touch down, and then the other, both tips, and chop. Let's do 4 more of these. Exhale as you're chopping, inhale through center, chop, and center. Last 2, and 1 more time. Okay, all right, so again, targeting more of this upper attachment as we're flexing. Now, wiggle over to the side a little bit, so like your body's closer to the edge of your mat. You're gonna leave one leg on the chair, and now one foot's on the floor next to the chair. We also use our abdominals isometrically just to stabilize our trunk, and I think it's important that's part of our practice, because most of the time when you want good posture, or you're walking or playing sports, we just need that kind of strength from the abs. Not always to create movement, but just sometimes to hold you while you're doing anything. All right, so arms are by your sides. I want you to lift the leg off the floor and just hold that in the air into a tabletop. All right, we're gonna do a set of toe taps. So you're gonna feel a lot of work on the obliques on the side that you're moving the leg. When you exhale, you're gonna compress your abs to stabilize your torso while you tap your foot down to the mat, and then inhale to lift the leg up. So as you're exhaling, we want to use the force of your breath to create the compression that stabilizes you. Inhale to lift back up. And you're going to feel the load, the weight of your leg heavier. Oh, sorry. Exhale, tap down. Inhale up. We're going to do 1 more time. Exhale as you tap. Inhale to lift. Okay, leave that leg in tabletop. Now I want you to lift up your opposite arm, so that's reaching up to the ceiling. Now we're going to do a bend and stretch with the leg in the air. As you reach your leg out, you're going to exhale, and at the same time, take that arm back in line with your ear. Inhale, bend your knee, lift your arm back up. And again, exhale, compress your abs, reach your arm overhead. Inhale as you return. So now you have a different line of pull. We've got the weight of 2 limbs reaching away from the center of your body. So we have to use your obliques on both sides to stabilize against that change. Just 1 more time. Exhale, reach away. Inhale, back in. Now extend legs straight up if you have the flexibility, or mostly straight if that's better for you. Now you're going to lower that leg away from you. When you bring both up, you're going to do a little crunch again and lower both down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up and lower down. Just 2 more times, crunching up and dropping. Last time to lift and drop. Okay, before we switch sides, just tuck that knee into your chest. You can wiggle it around a little. All right, let's take a journey to the other side of the mat. Okay. Can you still see what I'm doing? Oh, absolutely you can. Okay. On that note, let's do a little more static. Yep. On that note, let's play with a set of toe taps. So arms are by your sides again. Let's get that moving leg into tabletop. Briefly pause to assess that you're level at your pelvis. When you exhale, tap your toes down to the mat, and then when you breathe in, let's take that leg back in towards your body. Exhale, breath should happen right before the movement because we're practicing stability. Inhale to lift. Start your exhale when you know you're ready with your abs, you tap your foot down. Inhale up. 2 more times, exhale to lower. I thought I was getting too dramatic on a not dramatic exercise. 1 more time, exhale, tap down, and lift back up. I really think who I is sometimes. All right, opposite arm up to the ceiling. Bend and stretch with that leg. As you exhale, extend that leg out on a diagonal and reach the opposite arm overhead. Inhale, bend your knee, lift that arm back up. Exhale, reach the arm and leg away from each other. Inhale to return. If you've ever done this before, it's usually called a dead bug, like if you're in physical therapy. And 2 more times, reach away and pull back in. Last one like that, reach away and pull back in. All right, take the leg, extend it straight up to the ceiling. Now you're gonna lower the arm and leg. When you exhale, we'll do a little crunch as you take them both up. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, flex up. And inhale to drop. Exhale, lift. 2 more times down. And exhale, up. Last one like that. Exhale, lift. And then lower everything back down. All right, just tuck that knee into your shoulder a little bit before we get off your back. All right, let's get off your back. And just take your mat out of your way for safety. I want you to face the seat of the chair. Put one foot up on the seat. Hopefully you can. I know that height might affect that, but maybe you're lucky enough that there's lower rungs like this dining room chair if you need it. Okay, you're gonna hold onto the back of the chair with both hands. We're gonna do a one-legged heel raise. Don't stress that because you have lots of support in your other limbs. We're gonna just go up and down. Breathing rhythm, why don't you do an exhale up, inhale back down. And I want you to control the speed of the movement, making an even tempo up and down. That way we get the benefit of the contraction of the muscle as it shortens and lengthens. Let's do 4 and 3, 2 and 1. So this ends up being a workout you like and you do it several times. Make your overall goal in this exercise to use the other limbs less and less and less and take more work eventually into the lifting heel leg. Lifting heel leg, yeah. All right, exhale, up, inhale, down. So the way I'm thinking of that is I'm trying to minimize how much I'm weight shifting forward and back. It is true that the weight shifts from my heel to the front of the foot, but I'm trying to do a sense of containment, almost bracing away with my hands so I keep the overall body load over the leg. Last 2. And up and down. One more time. And drop. Okay, we're gonna step back. You're gonna place your hands on the seat of the chair. And so this is another moment we kind of have to play with like your body proportions to the chair's body proportions. I wanna get my torso as close to parallel to the floor as possible. And I want to work with a slight bend in the knees. So you may need to put your arms out there instead of get right over them. Only you can find your sweet spot. All right, let's do a little work for your butt. I want you to start out reaching one leg behind you, tip your toes on the floor, and you're gonna lift that leg to hip height and then back down. Right now I'm trying to work with my leg parallel, so it shouldn't be able to get much higher than the height of the hip itself. You're gonna do that 2 more times. When you get it up in the air, hold it there, turn your toes out. Now that your leg is laterally rotated, you should be able to lift it just a little bit higher. And I'd like you to do a smaller range, lower and lift. You might call this a pulse in a bar class. Now, my clothes aren't real tight, but I promise you, I'm keeping my abs in, and you should too. 3 more times. Exhale as you lift that leg. 2, hold it up on this last one. Now, flex your foot and bend your knee like you're kicking yourself in the tush. And my thigh is gonna stay at the same height, and then I'm gonna extend the leg. So the foot should feel like it's coming up and over and reaching away. Pulling in and press back out. Check in on your other leg. Make sure you're still bent at the knee. Try to put the weight into your heel. Last 2, finish with your knee bent. If we've done this right, your knees turned out, you can point your toes again, and I want you to keep that turn out, maybe make a little more. Drop and lift your leg in attitude. 5 more pulses here, down and up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Clamshell. From that turn out, I want you to turn your knee in, squat down a little lower, turn it out, rise back up. Not to a straight knee, but almost straight. Dip down, lift up. Drop down, lift up. I have a goofy smile at you every time I do this. Hey. It's because I call it a clam, but I know I look like a doggy on a fire hydrant. Go down and stay down. All right, last thing on this side. Tuck your knee in towards your chest. Reach your leg out and extend your spine. Tuck it in, flex slightly. Reach away. Just 3 more of these. Curling in, reaching out, and 2. Reach away. 1 more time, and reach away. Leg in the air doesn't hurt. It's the one I was standing on that's a problem. All right, let's go back down. Half-hour workout. I'm sure I've already gone over. You have no time to mess around, people. Get your hands on the chair, seat. Get your weight on the heel and a slight bend to that knee. The leg that's straight behind you, we're going to keep it parallel, and you're just going to go into that lifting and lowering pattern. Remember, you want to be hinged forward, so you kind of explore that a little bit of just changing the relationship of your arms and your torso to the chair. 3 more, and 2. Hold it up on that last one. All right, so you turn out your toes, explore that, you get a little more range there, and now do a smaller range down and up motion. Check back in on your upper body. Make sure you're using both of your arms, bracing to the chair for the balance, just so the chair doesn't tip, but also so you're getting a little plank-like work through your arms. 2 more. Hold it up. Let's try those hamstring curls. So you want to flex your foot as you bring that heel in, and then extend the leg. Earlier I referred to like kicking yourself in the butt. Make sure it's the opposite butt. I'm bringing my heel towards the sit bone on the other side. 5 more times. Imagine you're dragging your foot through mud. Give yourself a little extra resistance. And 2. Finish with that knee bent. Point your toes, exaggerate the turnout, and then drop and lift that leg several times. Let's check it on the other leg. Is your weight still over your heel? I find when I want to cheat, I throw it all into my arms. 2 more. I always accuse you of what I do wrong. All right, now that clamshell, I'm going to turn the knee in, go to a little deep, and then turn the knee out and come up. Drop down and lift up. Here's where I want to shift forward. So make sure when the weight comes up, it stays over the heel. All right, you got 2 more to go. And we're gonna finish with it down. All right, knee tucks in, extend out. Allow the spine to flex and lengthen to follow that kick. Tuck in, reach away, 2 more times. And last one. All right, my giggles now are that. Both feet down and stand up. A red face to my, pretty red face. Okay. I'm out of breath, it looked like crap. Let's finish this off. Now I want you to sit on the chair again. I'm going to sit diagonal. Both my sit bones are still on the seat, but I'm straddling the corner with a wider set to the legs. And both feet are still rooted into the ground. All right, whichever hand's closer to the back of the chair, I want you to make contact with it. I'm going to push my whole forearm against the side of the back of the chair, and you see my elbows bent. All right, other arm's going to reach out to the side. I want you to twist towards the back of the chair and just wrap the arm around you. So I'm looking over my shoulder, I'm hugging in, and now I'm going to push my arm against it to brace, and I'm going to turn away. So if you've ever partner danced with somebody, you wind them up, you throw them out. You wind them up, and you throw them out. Okay, keep doing that, but add flexing, drop your head, and extending as you reach away. Curling down, hug tight, open, lift your chest and chin. Round forward, don't forget that other arm, pushing into the chair in either direction should help you intensify. A thought you're gonna have to keep thinking about as we go to the other side. All right, so switch your straddle. Get to the corner, make sure your sit bones have contact with the chair, and you've got that wider set stance with your legs so the chair doesn't flip. I'm gonna stay turned this way so you know what's going on here. Let you see this a little better. All right, arm out to the side. First, 4 times just the rotation. So hug yourself, look towards the back of the chair, rotate away. When you hug in, if you see that opposite shoulder shrug, slide the hand you're bracing with down a little bit lower. One more like that. All right, now add flexion. So I'm going to turn to the back of the chair, dropping the head, and then away and lifting the chin. Flexing forward, opening up from the heart. 2 more times, curling, lifting, last time, flex, and then back up. Boom, boom. We done. All right, hope that gave you what you need today. See you soon.